Let me tell you something, my friend. I'm an old man now. I've crossed that great line of 60 winters, and I've lived through love, loss, joy, and disappointment. I've been a husband. I've been a lover. I've been alone. And with all the clarity that comes from looking backward with tired eyes and a full heart, I'll tell you something most people won't dare to whisper. If you're over 60, having a partner can be poison. That's right. It might be better for your soul, your peace, and your sanity to stay single. And no, I'm not saying love is wrong or that companionship is useless. I'm saying that at this stage in life, when the heart is more tired than hungry, and when the mind values silence more than spark, being single might just be the salvation you never expected. Let's start with the first reason: the emotional weight of another person's baggage. You see, by the time you've reached 60, you're not the only one who's walked through storms. If you meet someone new, they're dragging their own cart full of regrets, pain, and habits. They've lived a whole life before you, and often you're expected to suddenly share their burdens, comfort their ghosts, deal with their children, their finances, their medical issues, and everything else they bring. It's not like falling in love at 20 when you both come with fresh pages. Now you're holding torn pages and it gets heavy. Their depression, their bitterness, their financial debts, their children who might not accept you, their lifestyle that might suffocate yours. Suddenly your quiet evenings become arguments about how they like their food or how they handle their stress. And you, who had finally found some peace, are now wrapped in their chaos. That is no small thing. Second, freedom. Oh, my friend, the freedom you find after 60 is something most people never talk about. You're no longer raising children. You're no longer tied to a 9 to 5. You've learned to enjoy your routines, your quiet mornings, your peaceful walks, your silly TV shows. You finally know what makes you happy. And then you meet someone. They start rearranging your house, your habits, your day. They want to travel when you want to rest. They want to rest when you want to read. You compromise again and again until you no longer recognize your own days. It's not evil. It's not toxic in the usual way. It's just slow erosion. Bit by bit, you lose your rhythm. And for what? For the idea that being coupled is better? For avoiding loneliness that you'd already made peace with? Sometimes freedom is not just doing what you want. It's being allowed to be who you've become. And being in a relationship at this age often robs you of that. Now let's talk about energy. That's the third reason. At this point in life, your energy is precious. You don't bounce back like you used to. Conversations drain you. Arguments sap you. Even small compromises take longer to recover from. A partner, no matter how loving, requires emotional labor. You're constantly managing moods, expectations, desires, and disappointments. Even in a healthy relationship, there are misunderstandings, unmet needs, and the tiring dance of two lives trying to move as one. Ask yourself this: do you really want to spend the last stretch of your life managing someone else's emotions? Or would you rather pour that energy into your garden, your grandchildren, your books, or your memories? I'm not saying this out of bitterness. I'm saying it out of experience. At 60, you must protect your energy like it's gold, because it is. Fourth, health. Yes, health becomes a battlefield after 60. And when you live with someone else, their lifestyle affects yours. If they smoke, you inhale it. If they eat poorly, you get tempted. If they avoid exercise, you might too. And if they fall ill, your entire life rearranges itself around hospital visits, medicines, and emotional strain. Now I know love means showing up in sickness. I've done it. I've sat beside hospital beds and fed soup to someone I cared about. But it aged me. It broke parts of me I never got back. And sometimes the truth is hard. You might not be able to carry someone else's decline while managing your own. And that's not selfish, that's survival. Being single allows you to fully focus on your own well-being, to walk when you want, to rest when you need, to eat what nourishes you, to sleep without interruption. That is not loneliness, that is healing. Fifth, peace of mind. After 60, peace is everything. Not passion, not romance, peace. The peace of knowing your day is yours. The peace of falling asleep without arguments. The peace of making choices without anyone's judgment. I've seen friends who got remarried or found late-life partners, and many are constantly anxious. They worry about finances. They argue over family issues. They feel trapped because now they can't leave. They're afraid of hurting someone, or they're dependent, or they just don't want to start over again. But they're not happy, they're not peaceful, they're just committed. And that's a slow death. Peace is a quiet evening with your thoughts, a slow walk with no destination, a laugh with an old friend, a cup of tea without explaining yourself. Being single offers that, and it's not something to be pitied, it's something to be proud of. I know society tells us that being alone is failure, that we're meant to find someone, that old age is scary without a partner. But I've lived both sides, and I can tell you, loneliness is not being alone. It's being with someone who drains your joy. It's waking up beside someone who makes you feel smaller. It's having to defend your choices every day. That's the real loneliness, when you lose yourself trying to keep someone else happy. Being single doesn't mean being unloved. It means loving yourself enough to not settle for noise over silence, for conflict over calm, for duty over joy. There's also this little truth that people forget. Companionship doesn't have to be romantic. Your friends, your family, your neighbors, even your memories, they can all be enough. You don't need a partner to be whole. You don't need a relationship to feel alive. Sometimes your own company is the richest company there is. You can travel alone, laugh alone, cry alone, eat alone, and still live a full life. In fact, when you stop waiting for someone else to complete you, you begin to really live. And at 60, that's the only life worth living. Now, I'm not telling you to shut your heart. If love comes and it's light and it fits easily into your life, take it. But if it's heavy, if it brings more questions than peace, if it confuses your days and stirs your quiet, you have every right to walk away. Not everyone is meant to be in a relationship in their later years. Some of us are meant to finish this journey alone, not because we failed, but because we finally found ourselves. Let me leave you with this. When you're over 60, you don't owe anyone your time. You don't owe anyone your peace. You've given enough. You've loved enough. You've suffered enough. Now is the time to protect your joy, to honor your rhythm, to live gently. And if being single gives you that, then embrace it. Don't look back. Don't let the world make you feel like you're missing something, because often the thing they say you're missing is the very thing that could have broken you. I say all this not to scare you, but to remind you, you still have time, not forever, but time. Time to live honestly, to feel freely, and to let go of everything that weighs you down. Even if that thing has a smile and a sweet voice. Sometimes love is not what you need. Sometimes what you need is yourself. And that, my friend, is enough. In what ways can embracing solitude in later life lead to deeper relationships with friends, family, and yourself, without needing a romantic partner at all? Let me tell you something I've come to understand with time. Solitude is not loneliness. It's not a punishment or a failure. It's not a sign that you've been forgotten or that love has passed you by. Solitude, especially in later life, can be a doorway, a sacred space, a mirror. And when you embrace it, not just tolerate it, but truly accept it, you begin to see yourself in ways you never could when the noise of others filled your days. You begin to heal. And more than that, you begin to love, not just others, but yourself, in ways that feel richer, calmer, and more honest than ever before. In my younger days, I thought being alone meant something was wrong with me. I clung to people, to romantic partners, to companionships that only half fit, just to avoid the silence. But I was wrong. The silence is not your enemy, it is your teacher. When I finally found myself living alone in my 60s after the dust of marriages and heartaches had settled, I was afraid at first. The quiet hit me like a wave. I missed the sound of someone else moving around the house, the simple comfort of sharing a meal or a television show. But slowly I began to notice something. In that quiet, my thoughts returned to me. My breath slowed. My steps became intentional. I started noticing the birds in the morning, the warmth of my coffee, the way my body felt when I walked without rushing. That kind of awareness is the first step towards something deeper. You see, once you're not caught up in trying to please or accommodate a partner, you begin to reconnect with who you are, not who you had to be for someone else, but who you've always been beneath the noise. I started writing again, old poems, stories I never told. I called up friends I had not spoken to in years, not because I was lonely, but because I had the time and heart space to truly listen. I stopped rushing through conversations. I no longer needed anything from them. I just wanted to be present. And something remarkable happened. The friendships deepened. We laughed more. We cried more. The calls got longer. The visits felt fuller. I wasn't performing. I was just being. When you embrace solitude, you stop waiting for others to complete you. You stop needing validation. And from that place of strength, your relationships change. You no longer cling. You no longer manipulate. You love with an open hand. You forgive more easily because you've had time to forgive yourself. You listen more because you've learned to sit quietly with your own thoughts. My relationship with my children also transformed. I used to demand their time, expect them to call, feel hurt when they didn't. But when I found peace in my solitude, I became softer with them. I stopped expecting and started offering stories, wisdom, love. And in return, they came closer. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. They could feel the difference. That I wasn't trying to fill an empty space. I was simply inviting them into a full one. The most profound change, though, came in my relationship with myself. I stopped judging my past so harshly. I stopped replaying the old mistakes in my head. I looked in the mirror and saw a man who had lived, stumbled, loved, lost, and still stood tall. I forgave that man. I honored him. I took care of his body. I fed him better. I walked him under the sun. I spoke to him kindly when he was tired. That's not something a partner can give you. That's something you have to give yourself. And when you do, it changes everything. You stop settling for half-hearted affection. You stop fearing being alone at the dinner table. You start looking forward to your own company. People often say that old age is lonely, that we need a partner to keep us company in the final stretch. But I say this, if you find peace in your own company, you will never truly be alone. And the love you offer others, be it family, friends, neighbors, will be real, not needy, deep, not desperate. You'll learn to sit with a friend in silence and still feel connected. You'll learn to tell your grandchild a story without rushing, because there's no one waiting for your attention elsewhere. You'll learn to show up for others, not because you need them to fill you, but because you are already full and want to share the overflow. In solitude, you also begin to appreciate small moments more. A shared cup of tea, a memory triggered by a song, a walk with an old friend. When you are not busy managing the constant dance of a romantic relationship, you begin to truly see the beauty in ordinary moments with the people who matter most. I have a friend named Hari. We meet every Sunday morning for coffee and newspapers. No big plans, no deep talk unless it comes naturally. But those mornings have become one of the anchors of my week. He knows me as I am, and I him. That kind of companionship doesn't need romance, it needs presence. And solitude teaches you how to give that. So let me say this. If you're older and alone, don't rush to fill that space with someone else. Sit with it. Learn from it. Let it shape you. The relationships you have with others will start to glow with something deeper. Truth. You'll give your time freely. You'll show up more fully. And the bond you form with yourself will become the most important relationship of your life. Solitude is not the end of your story. It's a chapter where you find your truest voice, and from there, everything becomes richer, softer, more real. You don't need a romantic partner to be loved. You just need to open your eyes to the love already around you, and most of all, the love within you. If you liked today's discussion, don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated with every video we release. And yes, don't forget to share your experiences and thoughts in the comments. Every comment is special to us. Your feedback helps us improve further. We'll continue to meet you in every new video on this channel, so until next time, take care.